Ladies and gentlemen, this is a story that comes out of Texas, and I am sad to report this particular story. It's about this beautiful smiling baby girl. I want y'all to make sure and look at my screen and see the smile on that beautiful soul right there, who I believe was doomed from birth. Okay, and I'm gonna explain to you guys why with this particular story. So, the main focus of this story is going to be the biological father. Let me see if I can get his face on the screen so you guys can see exactly who I'm talking about. If I can get my keyboard to work here. Give me a moment. The man in question is the man in the top right corner right there. And police have arrested a father suspected of beating his 4-year-old daughter to death. Zianne Essix, that's the little girl's name on the left-hand side right there. She was only 4 years old, guys, and she died in Fort Worth of a homicidal violence on February the 18th, and that's according to Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Office. The death is being investigated by the Fort Worth Police Department Crimes Against Children Unit. And I want you guys to also understand and remember, if you guys don't remember, that Texas has this thing called super aggravated child laws. Okay, now I don't know if it'll apply here or not, but I'm just throwing it out there because in general, Texas is pretty hard on people who abuse children. Okay, now police picked up that fool right there that y'all see on my screen. His name again is, oh, I didn't give you his name. I'll give you his name. That's Zion's father, Rekeem Dory. I'm gonna read his name again. Rekeem, not Rakeem or Rakim. Rekeem, R-E-K-E-E-M. Rekeem Dory, D-O-R-Y. That dude right there that you see on my screen is 25 years old, and he was picked up in Waco on Wednesday after the issuance of a probable cause warrant affidavit on a charge of capital murder of a person under 10 years old. I like the fact that they make the distinction that this child is under 10 years old, because as children get older and bigger, they understand more, they become more cunning, they even to a potential could fight back, right? They could actually fight their parents back who try to abuse them. So I believe that the smallest and youngest and most defenseless of us, which are our babies, absolutely should have special laws. We're going to talk about that mop head looking broad right there in a minute. Ma'am, wait your damn turn, okay? I'm not done talking about this clown right here, all right? He also got a $1 million bail, and I believe it's warranted, and you'll hear why. Rekeem Dory, who trained as a boxer, I'll show you a video of that here in a minute, told police that he gained custody of his daughter after Zianne's mother, by the name of Pauline Joe Essix, aka Joe Essix, I found her on Facebook. She's 23 years old, and that is the biological mother of that baby. And the devil broke the mold when he made that woman's face. My Lord. I'm just saying, it's my personal opinion, all right? But nonetheless, Pauline Joe Essix is the biological mother, and this this broad is 23 years old and was arrested in Waco in January of 2019 and put in jail on 3 counts of child endangerment, according to authorities. Let me say that again, for those in the back who might not have heard what I said. The biological mom was arrested in Waco, Texas in January of 2019 and put in jail on 3 counts. So what does 3 counts mean? 3 counts means there were 3 individuals in this case, 3 separate humans. But we'll get to that, all right? Now, according to published records, the girl's mother, Pauline Joe Essix, was arrested on 3 counts of endangering a child, excuse me. And by the way, Joe is spelled J-O, Essix is E-S-X-I-X, all right? But let's put a pin in that part of the story. We'll come back to it here in a minute because we're going to talk about the mom, but we'll come back to her, Mom. We'll come back to your ratchet ass. We'll come back. Now, attempts to contact Pauline Essix or her attorney on record, Christopher King, were unsuccessful on Wednesday. Now, the father called 911 in Fort Worth on February the 17th and told the dispatcher that his daughter was having a seizure and that her lips were turning blue. That's according to the police, not my personal words, okay? Hashtag not my words. When first responders arrived at the residence on 1000 block of Bessie Street, they immediately began performing CPR and took the child to Cook County Children's Medical Center, where she was listed in critical condition, and the baby ended up dying the very next day, according to authorities. The baby was bruised all over. So let me tell you guys this part of the story, and I want you guys to remember, for those who want to see the news stories, I'm going to tell you, I did not find one single news story. I did not find one single news story video at all. I was a bit disappointed the fact that this did not get any type of coverage, and I believe that it should. It should have got a lot of coverage, but it didn't get any coverage. I'm a bit saddened by that, okay? Now, I could be wrong. If you have the video, feel free to send it over to my email address, theafcmatters@gmail.com. But from what I understand, I didn't see anything. Now, the biological father, let me see if I can get his face back up on the screen because it keeps going off of his face right there. Rekeem Dory told police that Zianne had fallen from a slide in her playroom that morning. How about that? Yet another parent who blames a death of a child from injuries that are normally consistent with a child getting beat up. They always seem to blame it on the child. Have you guys noticed that? He told police that baby Zianne had fallen from a slide in her playroom that morning, but medical professionals found bruises all over the girl's body that were not consistent with a fall from a slide of about 2 feet 4 inches, police said. How about that? Found out he was lying pretty quick. Medical professionals reported bruises to baby Zianne's neck, to her jaw, back, legs, arms, her butt, upper right thigh, and on 4 areas of her forehead, between her left eye and nose, on her upper right eyelid, and around her left ear and left shoulder, in front of and behind the joint, according to the affidavit. Please, somebody let me know y'all heard what I just said. That little girl that y'all see on my screen went through all of that. And how does the biological father explain it? She fell. Like, what the hell did she fall off of? The Eiffel Tower? Ooh, Lord, have mercy. Bless these people because they are going to hell, I swear. Non-specific bruising on the tops of Zianne's feet, her shins, knees, and elbows, and was also noted in the affidavit. How about that? Even more. The father, that fool, told police that he believed his daughter was fine and put a cold compress to her head. Baby Zianne and her half-sister, who was aged 2 years old, by the way, were supposed to help clean, but the father, that dude, that's a younger photo of him, said that baby Zianne, I'm sorry, I'm going to put some respect on this baby's name. Zianne was not helping enough, and he gave her a whooping. I want you guys to keep in mind how old this baby is. She is 4. She's 4 years old. Let me take a pause for the cause real quick and give a shout out to Sweet D. And I want to say thank you, Sweet D, for your $5 super chat. Thank you so much for supporting us. For anybody else who's listening to the story, if you want to support us, we do have Cash App and PayPal available. Those links will take you directly to me in the description box. Let me also give 2 shouts out. One to Set Zebra, who's right there in the chat. He sent in a PayPal, and I want to say thank you very much to you. And he also sent in a $3 super chat as well. And he said, keep it up, Jay from Set Zebra. Brother, thank you so much, man. It doesn't take a whole lot for you guys to support. So I'm truly honored, man, whenever channel members and other people do support us. So thank you so much for that. He spanked this baby because a 4-year-old did not help clean. You remember what I told you guys? I do not believe that a parent is a good parent whenever you beat, spank, smack, pop, hit. Whenever you are any level of physical with your child, I do not believe that you are a suitable parent at all. Does everybody understand what I just said? If you have to be physical with a child, then you are not a suitable parent. Do you know why I say that? Because if you cannot look at a, let's back this up for a moment. Let me put this into proper perspective. If you cannot look at that angel right there, and you cannot reason with a 4-year-old, if you cannot mentally guide a 4-year-old, and if you have not been guiding her since birth, then in my opinion, if you cannot control a child here, then you don't control a child here. Because what is that going to teach a child? All being physical with a child is going to do is teach them to fear you. And even worse, if you are too physical with a child, what can happen? Case in point, which is the point and purpose of my broadcast, and that is to save lives. This is not to get on here and make fun of these weird looking parents. This is not to make fun of their living conditions. This is not to make fun of their race or anything else. This is not to be disparaging about things that are really, you know, if you want to just say I'm being petty, you can call me petty, fine. But I think people, and I am so sad that people don't understand what my bigger point is. And my bigger point is to say that this child should come first. There is absolutely no reason why that child should be dead. If people are missing that message from me, then I'm sorry. The majority of my audience understands that. The majority of the people in the live chat understand that. The majority of the people who are channel members and people who donate, who find it in their heart to be able to financially contribute to a platform that matters, they understand. Those who watch on the sidelines and those who beat their children and those who create excuses for bad parenting are the ones who are in my comment section defending parents like this. Huh? Don't y'all find that ironic? The fact that in a time with this pandemic going on, that we're going to be around our children more, and you would think that these parents might show their children more love because they have more time around their children. And what they're doing is they're not showing their children more love now that they have more time. They're actually showing their true colors as parents. What do y'all think about that? This has nothing to do with him being a boxer. This has nothing to do with the fact of his age, because I'm going to tell you guys something. This father, if you even want to call him a father, is 25 years old. I want you guys to understand. This grown-ass man, how about that? Since we love to use the term grown-ass man, that grown-ass man is 25 years old. He way past grown. You heard me? The mom is grown as hell. Grown. They're grown. I don't give a crap about different nuances in their age. Oh, she's 18. Oh, she's 21. Oh, she's 23. You're a parent. You're an adult. Everybody should be held accountable for the decisions that they make. Hopefully everybody understands where I'm coming from. This dude beat the hell out of his daughter and gave her a cold compress and put it on her head. And the reason that he beat this baby up was because she did not clean up enough. So he gave her a whooping, striking her 6 times with the belt, and then put her in timeout in the playroom, according to the police warrant. The father described 2 potty training related accidents to police, which the father, Rekeem, said that he cleaned up and then put Zianne to bed, the warrant says. During the night of February the 16th, Rekeem said that he and his wife, not the biological mom of this kid, but he and his wife heard Zianne scream, ran into her room, and found her in the bed with her lips turning blue next to her sleeping half-sister. Well, maybe, I don't know if they're married or not. I don't know. Let me just read the story and see what happens. But Child Protective Investigations is investigating the child's death alongside police. Zianne's 2-year-old half-sister was ordered into the state's legal custody on February the 17th and has been placed with a relative. Now, during the search of the residence, police found blood stains in the apartment playroom and bathroom. A search of a cell phone uncovered a recording of a phone call in which the father, Rekeem, said, and they quote this, "Me and Zianne didn't see eye to eye, almost never. I really never had that type of connection that I connected with her like that. I really didn't." And that's coming from her father. This dude, this so-called dad said, "Me and my 4-year-old daughter don't see eye to eye." That guy doesn't see eye to eye with a 4-year-old. Really, you think? He said, "I never really had that type of connection, and that I connected with her like that. I really didn't." That is on record. That is going to go into the court records by way of this warrant. Hashtag not my words, okay? Now, February the 14th, Valentine's Day, the video showed no bruising on Zianne, the affidavit said. Maybe he whipped her too hard. So let's talk about this spanking just a little bit more, okay? When Rekeem's wife got home, she said she expected Zianne to run out and meet her, but she was met by Rekeem, who said that Zianne had another accident and would need another bath. Well, I've told you guys, this is part of being a parent. She's 4. Either take more time potty training her or just be more understanding the fact that that sweet innocent soul is going to have some accidents. I'm sorry, it happens. There has to be some parents in the chat or somebody listening right now who's been through this. Y'all know kids have accidents. It happens. Time and experience will fix that. And also another thing that'll fix that, patience. Say it with me. Patience. She's 4. She will learn. If you show her that you care and you show her that you love her, she can learn, and all children can learn. Let's get back to the story. Rakeem's wife told police during an interview that she and her 2-year-old daughter went visiting earlier on the day that Zianne went to the hospital, according to the warrant. About 8:30 p.m., she got a call from the father, Rekeem, who seemed annoyed. The affidavit said, Rekeem told her that Zianne had soiled herself and that she would buy her some new underwear, the affidavit said. When Rakeem's wife got home, she said she expected Zianne to run out and meet her, but she was met by the father, who said that Zianne had another accident and would need a bath. Later, Rekeem told her that Zianne had slipped on a wet spot on the floor and that she was okay. She slipped and fell, according to him, and he said that she'll be okay. Rekeem's wife said that she later believed that Zianne was in the playroom but did not insist on seeing her because she did not want to get into it with Rekeem, that she thought he would be, that she thought he was being weird. It's kind of a funny thing for a wife to say about her husband, thinking that he's being weird. Okay? I want y'all to take note of that. Now, later that night, the father, in the top right corner there, that picture, Rekeem's wife said that she heard a cry but believed it to be her 2-year-old daughter. Some time passed before Rekeem's wife went into the bedroom to check that when she saw Zianne's lips, which had turned blue. Rekeem's wife told police she yelled for him to call 911 and began CPR. Do y'all think that's the behavior of a good parent? When you hear a child scream, you just don't immediately go check on that child? Y'all don't think that's odd? A child screams and a parent first instinct is not to go run and check on the child. But I digress. At the hospital, Rekeem's wife was questioned by the Department of Family and Protective Services, DFPS, investigators who were asking questions about the bruising on Zianne's body. The father's wife told the police that he was thinking, Rekeem's wife told the police detective that she was thinking at the same time, what bruising? What are they talking about? When she returned to Zianne's body, Rekeem's wife pulled back the sheet and saw all of the bruising, and she thought, what the hell? Or what the fuck, I guess that's what they meant to say. Where did all these bruises come from? The affidavit said. I had so many questions that I wanted to ask them, or I wanted to ask Rekeem. And Rekeem's wife said, according to the affidavit, but I'm not going to even lie, I didn't want the answers right then because I felt like I would have reacted. It's another strange statement. Now, toward the end of the interview, Detective R.B. Jackson, who wrote the affidavit, said that he asked Rekeem's wife what she believed actually happened to baby Zianne. Or Zianne. I'm sorry, I keep saying Zianne. Zianne. I don't even want to fathom it, Rekeem's wife said, according to the warrant. I think he got super frustrated with Zianne, possibly peeing and pooping on herself, and whipped her too hard. I don't know. I wish my baby was here so I could ask her. Now, how many of you guys out there who are listening to this story right now believe the mom's side, or the wife's side, that she didn't know anything? Let me say that again. How many of you guys believe that Rekeem's wife didn't know anything about this baby having all of those bruises on her? And I want y'all to remember that she literally had bruises from the top of her head to the bottom of her feet. You mean to tell me you don't know anything at all? You know nothing. How do you even not see it on her? Her arms, her hands, her neck, her eye, her head, her face, her legs, her foot, her knees. Really? Really? Come on. Where does this happen at? I am sorry, guys. I am getting really hot, and I think it's cooking my brain. I am so sorry. I got hot. I really got hot. I want to punch this dude right now. And his wife. Might have to shoot his ass because he's a boxer. I ain't going to fight this dude. But this is really, really pissing me off. She said, I don't even want to fathom it. I think he got super frustrated with her peeing and pooping on herself, and maybe he whipped her too hard. So how can you come to the conclusion that maybe he whooped her too hard if you've never seen him whoop this 4-year-old baby before? And if you've seen him spank her before, then you know that he's doing too damn much. And if you have that information that you know he's doing too damn much and you did nothing about it, then in my humble opinion, bitch, you're just as guilty for letting it fucking happen. You saw something and didn't say anything. Look at this baby. You can tell even from that picture, you might have to zoom in, that you could even see all of the bruising on her legs. She's light skinned. If y'all want to talk to me about light skin and dark skin, with this baby having a bright complexion, it is damn near impossible to miss seeing all of that bruising that was on this baby. Impossible. She's very light skinned. A doctor told officers that baby Zianne, right there, that beautiful smile, died from a lack of oxygen and or blood to her brain caused by swelling. So what do we call that in the AFC platform? Anybody want to take a guess at that? Y'all remember what that's called? That's called blunt force trauma. Impact to the head. It shakes the brain up. The brain smashes against the skull, which causes bruising, and for a child this size will kill them. You guys ever heard of shaken baby syndrome, which can also kill kids? Yes, it is possible to shake a child to death, if you did not know that. Let me take a pause for the cause real quick, and let me thank Jeannie Torres and said she is full of it and they both should go to jail. I agree. And I'm trying to figure out, I don't know whether this is, if the wife is the mom or if the wife is just the wife of him and he had a baby and he had custody. I don't know. This shit is just freaking weird. So y'all just bear with me. We're going to try to get through the story, okay? Now, authorities concluded that Rekeem was the only person who was with Zianne at the time she sustained her injuries. Now, detectives also noted inconsistencies in Rekeem's statement to the police and his inability to adequately explain what caused baby Zianne's injuries, according to the affidavit. All right, now that you guys have that bit of the story, and I want to remind you guys, there is no video in the news because for some reason, apparently, this baby's story that y'all see right there on my screen is Happy Baby, who could have been anything. Apparently, her story did not matter enough to the people in Texas. Apparently, that story did not matter to the news stations. Apparently, the story did not matter enough for the news to give proper reporting on this story. Because like I said, I did not see a lot of clamoring about this story at all. I'm thankful for the news outlets who had it actually on their websites. But other than that, I didn't see a single video on this. So my video might be the only video that you guys see on this particular story. Now, would you guys like to hear about why I'm also blaming some of this responsibility on the biological mom even before they got to this point? Oh yes. If you guys are listening right now, then there is more, way more to this story. If you guys would like to hear it. If you guys like to hear it, let me know. Let me give a special shout out real quick in Cash App. Shaylene Fritcher, who was in the chat, she said, keep doing what you're doing. Hashtag AFC. So Shaylene, if you are listening, I did get your donation in Cash App. Thank you very much. And also, I need to give a shout out to Kimberly. Kimberly, if you are listening, I'm not going to read your whole name. I don't want to put your name out there. She said, keep advocating, Jay. I love what you are doing. So Kimberly, if you are listening, Kimberly S. So I'll just say your initial so you'll know who it is. So thank you very much. Also, I think Jacinda is in the chat. Wow, Jacinda sent in a very nice PayPal. So Jacinda, if you're listening, thank you very much. I did get your PayPal. And she said, for the babies. And I'm glad it's showing the messages on here. Also to Joan P said, thank you for all your hard work for these precious babies. So Joan, if you're listening, thank you very much. Also, very, very nice donation from LaQuisha Esther, who was in the chat, one of our channel members, and she said, I cannot thank you enough for updating us and being the voice for this beautiful baby girl taken away from us too soon. May she rest in peace. I got to give a shout out to PayPal, who finally decided to step their game up, and now we can actually read just from the notifications what people's messages are, and I think that's dope. Thank you, so I don't always have to open the app. Melly Mel sent in I know not to read the amount, but she said just showing some love. So Melly Mel, if you're listening, I did get yours in Cash App. Thank you, man. Shout out to you guys. I think that was all of the ladies and said Zebra, man. That's pretty dope. So shout out to you guys. For everybody else, if y'all want to hear what the mob did in 2019 that involved this baby, let me know. Y'all want to hear it? Like to hear it? Here it go. I told you guys there was going to be more to this story, and yes, I am about to put some of this blame on the biological mom, and I'm going to explain to you guys why. Because some of you guys might have seen this particular story in the news, but I'm about to give you some information. Let me see if I can get her face up on the screen. This heathen right here, Lord have mercy. Look at this face. Ma'am, look at your face. Sitting there looking stupid like that. Look at your damn face. Stop getting on camera looking stupid like that. This happened in Waco, Texas. That woman's name is Pauline Jo, J-O, Essix, E-S-S-I-X, was 22 years old at the time. And she was arrested in January of 2019 after she was found living with her 3 children in an apartment filled with animal feces and broken dishes, and she has been indicted on 3 counts of endangering a child. How about that? How about that? Y'all want to hear some more? You want to hear more? Let's keep going. Keep in mind, this story happened in 2019. The McLennan County Grand Jury handed up the indictments, and this is back in January 10th of 2019. Waco officers responded in January of 2019 to a request for a welfare check at the mother's home in the Town Oaks apartments on Sanger Avenue. Why does that sound familiar? Town Oaks. I might have been over there in those apartments before. Maybe I passed by them before. But anyway, responding officers reported immediately smelling animal feces and saw it everywhere. Say that again. They said they smelled the poop and they saw it everywhere. Everywhere? Everywhere. Along with piles of dishes, broken dishes, cat litter spilled across the floor, and old food covering the countertops. Lord have mercy. I couldn't be no police. I couldn't be a police officer. I couldn't be a coroner. I couldn't be an investigator. I couldn't do none of this. Okay? Now, police say that the 3 children are all under the age of 5, which also include baby Zianne. Just to let y'all know, this story is related. All under the age of 5 and appearing to be sleeping on a futon. Do y'all know what a futon is? I haven't heard that word said in a long time. Y'all know what a futon is? Yes. All the children were sleeping on a futon surrounded by animal feces, which was easily within reach. Gross. Waco police police department spokesman, Sergeant Patrick Swanton, at the time, called the conditions deplorable. The 3 children have different fathers. Let me repeat that. The 3 children have different fathers. Now, because we're looking at hindsight, I'm going to tell you guys, one of those fathers is the father of baby Zianne in the story. I need to stop saying that. Him. Okay? 2 of the 3 were placed with Texas Child Protective Services, and the third was picked up by the father, police said. And who was that father? That guy. I took two separate stories and merged them together. Let's keep talking about this. Essix, the mother, was released after posting bonds totaling $9,000. The mother's bond was $9,000. 3 children, all in danger. Let's see, Texas super aggravated laws. Children could have potentially have been killed from, just from the what do y'all call that? E. coli, all the diseases that are in animal feces, old food. Kids was probably hungry. Nasty furniture. It smells bad in there. They could have died from the smell. Mom is not properly caring for them. Probably not bathing the kids like they're supposed to. Probably, just doing all types of horrible things. Let's see, $9,000 bail. Yeah, that makes sense, right? $9,000 bail, but the father who was given custody because the mom lost custody, they were getting ready to throw these kids into protective custody. Not protective custody, but what do y'all call that? Not child protective services, but they were getting ready to put the kids into the system. And the father came and got his kid, which was commendable. That part was commendable. But what you cannot do as a father, which hurts all of us who are actually in our children's lives and who want to fight and advocate for our children, it makes it just that much harder for us, if we needed to be able to get custody of our kids. Why? Because you got dumbass fathers like this who can't handle the responsibility and cannot reason with a 4-year-old. And what's even more messed up about that, it's not like the dude didn't even have help. His wife was living with him. That also helped him take care of that 4-year-old. So if this happened January 10th of 2019, then that means you're talking about February, March, April. You're talking about 1 year and 4 months. 16 months. In 16 damn months, this man killed this little girl. 16 months. There is no excuse for this. And I'm going to tell you guys this. For the biological mom, people might wonder why I'm throwing her under the bus. Because how do you have a house that freaking nasty? Matter of fact, let me say this. If you can't take care of your kids, why in the hell do you have animals? Can anybody explain that to me? How does that even make any level of sense? Maybe I'm just a dummy. If I were a box of crayons, maybe I might be a brown or a navy blue. Because I might not be the brightest color in the box, right? I might not be the brightest one in the box. But in my humble opinion, if you cannot take care of a child, how in the hell do you think you're going to take care of children? Why do you have animals? There's piss and shit everywhere. Everywhere? Everywhere. Dirty food all over the place. And I can guarantee you, I bet you those kids are probably being starved. And you know what? It's sad to say this, that this so-called biological father and his wife were a worse option than just leaving the kids in the custody of the system. Ain't that sad? That's sad to say that this child would have been in a better position being left in foster care than being with this child's own biological father. And most fathers that I know would have happily taken their child in and said, baby, I got you. Come on, daddy's got you. Let's talk about this post right here. For the people who are wondering, yes, this is the mom, the biological mom of Zianne, her Facebook page. And you know what she wrote on her Facebook page? I thought it was, the irony was so thick you could cut it with a knife. And she said, you baby mamas need to get over the fact that your baby daddy is going to end up in a relationship with somebody, especially you young, dumb MFers. Like, damn, bro, move the F on. Obviously, you wasn't worried about a nigga when he was bored and lonely, but when he started to fuck with or F with or talking to somebody, you want to act crazy. Bye, man. Like, grow the F up. Your kid should come before any damn thing, point blank, period. Woo, boy. If that is not a self-absorbed, warped-minded female, then I don't know what is. How is it even possible to be that freaking delusional? Guys, if y'all are listening to the story, I want you to keep in mind that this is the same woman that lost custody of her kid on January the 10th of 2019. And she wrote this post on July the 30th of 2019. Isn't that ironic? Not the pot calling the kettle black, but the pot calling the kettle metal. I learned that from Tommy. Shout out to Tommy, by the way. Dre the Dream. But I like that. I get what you're saying. But it's actually, if the analogy should go like, because I know we're used to that analogy, but the analogy should go, the pot calling the kettle metal. That, I believe, is just so ironic that January, February, March, April, May, June, not even 6 months later, and she's writing some stuff. Like, how do you lose custody of 3 of your kids and you have the nerve to talk about somebody else and their relationship and their baby daddy and their baby mama and their children's situation? How? Like, how, Sway? How are you able to do that? How do you even have the ovaries to open your mouth, bitch? How? Hashtag, can we get a hashtag TTO in the chat? Hashtag TTO and TTT. This is a perfect example of people who need their ovaries taken and their testicles taken. That's what TTO and TTT means. This is a perfect example, because if this mom, considering the fact that she got a $9,000 bail, if she's able to stay out of jail, then guess what she'll also be able to do? Anybody want to take a guess? Bing, bing, bing. Have more children. What do y'all want to bet that they didn't sterilize this whore? Anybody want to take a bet that this broad could probably turn around and have more kids? What do you guys want to take a bet that this broad at age 23 with 3 children, let me say that again, 23 with 3 children, meaning she was getting pregnant for a fact by age 19, and maybe even before that, and just couldn't carry a kid to term. At 23 years old, y'all think that this bride is not about to produce a 4th, a 5th, and a 6th kid, considering the fact that the majority of women like her, hashtag not all, but like her, know that they're going to be able to collect benefits from these kids, and each and every kid that they get, they can collect child support, they get more in food stamps, they can get housing, they can get car vouchers, they can get sympathy and child support. for each and every kid that they have, and they know that they're not being held responsible for any of these kids. You know why? Because everybody is taking care of these kids except for these whores. Yes, whores, ma'am. Joe Essix is a whore. She's a horrible mother. And for these type of dudes who are sleeping with these chicks for whatever reasons, just because these chicks got something for you to crawl up in, don't mean that you should, guys. Ladies, can we get on to these sorry ass men for a moment? Can we do that? I hope y'all don't mind. Ladies, I hope you don't mind. I hope you don't take offense to me getting on these ain't shit dudes. Can I do that? Is that okay? I want to drag them through the mud for a moment. I want to have a grown man moment with some of these sorry ass dudes who think that it is proper business to stick your dick in everything that has a heartbeat. Huh? You nasty motherfuckers. Not only do you do that, you do it unprotected, meaning that you could harm yourself, you could produce children, you could get STDs. Your freaking tool might end up rotting and falling off. You could die. You ever think about that? For sleeping with chicks that you don't know? Because if you did know, and if your daughter was the oldest, then that means that you also had to know, men, that she already had children that this mother was not taking care of, meaning that you had your yellow flags and red flags, which are warnings. Warnings to not deal with this person. Am I talking any sense to anybody? This is coming all off the dome right now. These stories give me an opportunity to really try to speak to those people who understand, who have the right minds and heart to listen to this message with an open mind and an open heart in order for us to get to a better place. We have to get to a better place to where we're thinking before we sleep with these women. And we have to be more responsible with our seed as men. Because for these type of women, with no seed, there is no fruit to bear. Hello. We could stop a lot of this stuff from going on. We can stop contributing to the system. We can stop contributing to the jail population. And really, to be honest, we could actually stop a lot of these women from causing us to be so weak emotionally from fighting with each other if we would really just have a little more self-control over our bodies. How about that, man? How about that for a motherfucking solution? And I'm sorry that I'm cussing so much, but I'm just a bit upset. You got what you wanted and you got custody of your kid scot-free. That means that you would not be subjugated to the child support anymore. You got what you wanted. She was a bad mom, and now you have her in a position to where baby Zianne could be in a loving, nice household and actually have a chance to grow up and be something great. If you guys understand where I'm coming from, with this baby being only 4 years old, what do y'all think that she should have became? What do y'all think she could have become at age 4 years old? Do y'all think that she was already developed into the person that she was going to be? If you ask me, this baby is just starting to come into the understanding of some of the things in life. Understanding maybe bedtime, understanding when it's lunch, understanding the time of day. Still learning. Children are sponges and they will soak up anything that you give them. So if you give them love, patience, kindness, education, then they're going to, those type of seeds will germinate into something amazing, right? But if you feed these babies shit, if they're sponges, then what do you think that they're going to become from that? There's absolutely no reason that Zianne Essix That baby, that baby that y'all see on my screen, I want to give her a solo shot because I want to talk about this. I'm gonna pick my favorite picture of her, if y'all don't mind. This one. I'm gonna try to do this without crying because I'm a big old baby. Y'all have seen me cry on camera before, so y'all deal with it. I remember when my daughter was 4, and I definitely remember when my daughter was 5 years old. These memories are very vivid to me because shout out to my daughter if she's out there listening. But me and her spent such a large amount of time together around this age, from the time that she was born up until the time she was about 5 years old, before right before me and her mom let her experience daycare and before she started going into pre-K. But I remember all the days that I took my daughter, because I decided, I said I didn't want to take my daughter to McDonald's anymore. And I told her mama this. I said, I don't want to take her to McDonald's no more and give her that trash food. I said, if we're going to do anything, let's spend a little more money. And let's take her to Chick-Fil-A. And that way she'll still have her play area. She'll still have access to ice cream. And the food's a little bit healthier than McDonald's, maybe even a lot healthier. And then there are kids there to play. I love my daughter to socialize and stuff like that. But I still have the picture of when I decided to pick up my daughter's mom and her and took them to Chick-fil-A, and that used to kind of be our thing. So my daughter knows that we tend to try to pick things that are healthy choices when it comes to where we go eat. But I remember my daughter at this age, and because I talked to her so much, I cared about her so much, y'all bear with me a moment. I talked to my daughter so much. I cared about what she thought. I cared about how she feels. I cared about what she wants to do. I even cared about things that she don't want to do. Believe it or not, as a parent, you actually should care about what your kids do and don't want to do. It does matter. Because once they get later in life, what you want them to have is you want them to have a level of confidence when they go into situations, when they're making choices about maybe electives that they choose in school, maybe to the career field that they want to go into. You want children to have, or whenever they put their foot down and say no, no means no. Right? Not where there's this gray line where it's either a yes or a no. Peer pressure, right? When it comes to those situations, you want your children and your babies to have the confidence to speak their mind and stand on what they believe in. Where does that start? It starts from birth. From the moment that they are born, the moment that they come out of the womb, that's when the teaching needs to begin. And for too many of us, we wait until the wrong moments to try to teach the right messages. Ooh, I'm going to say that again. Somebody write that in the chat, please. We wait for the wrong moments to teach the right messages. I promise you, I'm probably not going to remember that. It just came off my head. We wait for the wrong moments to teach the right messages. But if we teach the right messages from birth and just make it a habit of always teaching those right messages, then we can raise more healthy children. And you know what? If you cared about what your children thought, if you cared about seeing your children, if you cared about the fact that you realize if they have an issue and they're not potty trained, then that shows you clearly as a parent where you as a parent have failed and where you need to work harder. It's okay to understand that we're going to have downfalls and setbacks. All you have to do is learn from it and educate. Learn from it, educate. That's what life is. Children, and even when your children become adults, they will make mistakes. I don't know if I have any older people. Do I have any elder people listening to my show right now? Even when your children get to age 16, 17, 18, they are going to make bad decisions. It is understood that they're going to make bad choices. What you don't do is you don't put your foot in their back and grind in it and beat them up over it. You teach and educate them. And if at that point they still choose to go down the wrong path, then I've told people this also. At that point, all you can do is just say, I've done all I could do for you. I've given you all the love, all the patience, all the education that I could give you. And if you make the wrong decisions, then it is no longer my fault. That's parenting. That's powerful. Everybody that's listening to the sound of my voice can learn a message from this story, no matter what situation you're in. Even if you are a person that does not have children and you're thinking about adopting children, I want you to imagine this. If the father would have kept his shitty ass at home and not went for custody of this baby would be in the system waiting on somebody who would love her and care for her. And guess what? For baby Ziannes who end up in the system, there's a lot of them down there, and there's a lot of them waiting for good homes. For those who are on the fence about whether I should become a foster parent or whether I shouldn't, just know that there are a lot of babies down there who have stories just like Zianne, who were born into homes that they were doomed to fail. And we hope and we appreciate when more people are able to step up for those parents who are just bad parents. At the end of the day, we have plenty of resources, plenty of education here on our platform in order to make a change in this world. And all I ask is not only that you guys continue to support our platform, support that message, but more than just being in the chat, the most important thing that we can do as a nation is just live our message. Be the change. Can somebody type that in the chat? Be the change. Be the change. I talk so much about criminals because you know what? I can speak from a perspective of somebody who's done things wrong, and it is my job to be the example, to show people we're not all like that. I'm not going to just tell you. I'm going to behave that way. I'm going to act that way. I'm going to talk that way, and I'm going to walk that way and live my life as a person, as a living example to become something better. Okay? I want to thank you guys so much for really just listening to me speak from my heart right now. I thank everybody who joined us on our particular stream to tell the story of baby Zianne Essix, 4 years old, who deserved an opportunity to grow up and become something great. That she was robbed of that, not only by her biological father, who is going to be facing capital murder charges, which in Texas is almost a definite life in prison, maybe worse. But she was also failed by her mother from the jump. It's senseless, and it has to change. The less of these stories I can tell you, the better. I will hope that this thing can stop one day. This is your boy DJ Just J. The shirt says we're the AFC. You can see them in the chat. They're the AFC. We are the AFC, where we advocate for children first. That's always where our priority is, with the children, okay? From my heart to yours, I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening to my stream and just giving me your listening ears, okay? Thank you. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and we're going to continue to try to make a change in our own way, okay? Thank you, and y'all have a great night, okay? Peace.
Hello listeners, come mask up with Keyline Designs, where you reap what we sow. We offer essential handcrafted face masks made with 100% cotton, equipped with a built-in filter and a slot for refillable filters. Our masks have many uses like riding motorcycles, ATVs, while out in public places, outside exercising, lawn and gardening, and helps prevent the spread of germs. We offer bling, sports logos, monograms, many assorted fabrics and colors. We make child-size masks starting at the age of 2. Come join us today for the launch of our new website at keylinedesigns.com. Please be sure to like and follow our page on Facebook. Our links can be found in the description box of this video. Thank you.
Hey there, listeners. Are you looking for authentic design from brands like Louis Vuitton, Prada, Coach, Gucci, Michael Kors, and so much more at a price that you can actually afford? Well, let me introduce you to Nora's Authentic Designer handbags, shoes, and accessories, where we have designs to meet all of your needs. All items are 100% authentic, brand new, and being sold at prices you don't want to miss out on. Find us on Tradesy.com, at Nora's 915, or email us at norasauthenticdesign@gmail.com. Hey there, listeners. Are you looking for authentic design from brands like Louis Vuitton, Prada, Coach, Gucci, Michael Kors, and so much more at a price that you can actually afford? Well, let me introduce you to Nora's Authentic Designer handbags, shoes, and accessories, where we have designs to meet all of your needs. All items are 100%